Hello everyone, the December Review here, back again with a movie review. Today, we have the new Adam Sandler and Netflix team-up film, Hubie Halloween. Which side of the Sandler scale does this ghostly tale fall under? Let's check it out.
Halloween's upon us!
Adam Sandler plays Hubie Dubois, a deli worker at a local supermarket in Salem, Massachusetts. He is picked on by everyone in town, except by longtime acquaintance Violet Valentine, played by Julie Bowen, who appreciates Hubie's good nature. Hubie is the unofficial town's hall monitor, always having an eye out for crime, be it small or large. He is no stranger to pointing out to the police that his shop is selling food past its expiration date. He is especially fixated on Halloween, making sure the holiday goes smoothly for its Salem counterparts, who treat him, well, pretty much like yesterday's trash. It's Halloween time again, and a man has escaped from a mental institution and is believed to be on his way back to Salem. Meanwhile, Hubie has a new neighbor, Walter Lambert, played by Steve Buscemi, who seems nice enough but has instructed Hubie not to stop by his house when he hears strange noises coming from it. These storylines come together as people start disappearing on Halloween night, and it's up to Hubie, with the help of the local police sergeant Steve Downey, played by Kevin James, to figure out what's going on.
The supermarket's selling expired bacon. Janet at the library has not been herself lately. I heard a voice in the sewer.
There's a lot to like about this new Sandler film. First off, the plot itself reads like some twisted take on John Carpenter's classic film. And while the movie never goes down that territory, it does offer up plenty of fun along the way. The film harkens back to some of the more classic Sandler vibes like The Waterboy and Happy Gilmore. The cast for this film is vast, bringing back countless Sandler mainstays plus a few newbies to the proceedings. Ray Liotta is here as Mr. Landolpha, playing, you guessed it, a tough guy who at one point throws Hubie into his own father's burial plot during his funeral. Yeah, we're talking that kind of shenanigans. Rob Schneider, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenan Thompson, Colin Quinn, Noah Schnapp, Michael Chiklis, George Wallace, Blake Clark, and June Squibb are all here, as well as a bunch of others. Tim Meadows and Maya Rudolph have an especially funny bit as old classmates of Hubie who, when they're not bickering at each other, try to make life difficult for Hubie as well. And Ben Stiller pops up in a brilliant take on a familiar role. The storyline is breezy enough, allowing for the Salem location to breathe its way into the fall holiday. The town itself is littered with Halloween decorations and haunted houses. Harley Quinn and Ghostface all make appearances, adding to the authentic nature. There is a mystery to unravel throughout the film, and the plot chugs along fast enough during its showcase of familiar faces. The film only ever gets serious when the arc of the escaped mental patient is sprinkled in. This is overlapped with the secret of Hubie's neighbor, who may or may not be a real werewolf. Those two plot points allow for the, quote, fright parts of the film, such as when some kids bump into the escapee alone on the corner of a street, or when Hubie finally decides to check in with Walter in his home. There is a whisper of straight scares, but it never goes all in, allowing for the moments to mostly end with humor. The jokes range from stupid to sophomoric to clever, never really leaning one way, which allows the film to be a nice Halloween addition within its PG-13 rating. This is much better Sandler material, and it feels like the 90s again at times, because the jokes work. They do get a tad repetitive, which I'll get into in a bit, but thankfully the ideas that are used over and over again work, so by the time it's on its 27th time, it's still okay. There's a bit about the t-shirts Hubie's mom wears and a Swiss Army thermos concept that goes on during the entire runtime. That thermos should have high billing in the cast list. Sandler himself nails down the goofball man-child role once again perfectly, giving Hubie a nice character to root for. It doesn't hurt that everyone literally goes out of their way to mess with him. The town unmercifully throws everything it can get its hands on at him, from eggs to sandwiches and dodgeballs, at all the time throughout the film, including one Adam O'Doyle, a name Sandler fans fondly remember. Sandler plays it straight all the way through the film, taking things very seriously and allowing the humor to cascade around him. His vocal approach here is more in line with Bobby Boucher than Robbie Hart, and I was afraid after I saw the trailer I wouldn't be able to understand him. But that was unnecessary. It works even if it's a bit familiar. On the surface, it may just appear to be another brainless Sandler Netflix concoction, but I feel there's a bit more going on here. Take, for instance, the scene where Hubie attends a school lunch to speak on the merits of Halloween safety. Yes, he gets destroyed by his audience, but at one point a heckle from the crowd insulting him is met with some backbone by another teacher. The ending itself is built around the idea of being nice to one another, regardless of who they are. It's the golden rule. This is a step up from those earlier cited films, and a lesson we can take away from it, and a bit of fresh air in today's world. But let's not think that the film is some morality tale, because it's not, though those aspects are intriguing. Another line throughout the movie is that our Hubie is easily scared. This sets up multiple funny moments where Sandler flips out by some pranksters. His own Halloween decorations he put up at his house even get him a few times. It's a funny twist where the man in love and in charge of Halloween probably can't watch half of the horror movies on TV. Of course, there is a love interest along the way. Julie Bowen brings a ton of charm and a bit of crazy to Violet Valentine. She was the most popular girl in school who Hubie had a crush on, but was always out of his league. They end up interacting throughout the film, and you find yourself cheering them on. Kevin James also excels here as the slightly annoyed and briefly paranoid police sergeant. This was a role tailor-made for his talents, and he does great work.
So would you lose your thermos?
Oh, that'll never happen.
There isn't a lot that I found bad about this film. You know what you're getting when you hit play on an Adam Sandler comedy. The plot does start to thin out about an hour in, which was a surprise considering there was about 40 minutes left to go at that point. Some threads were sewn up quickly, and while those reveals were funny and worked, I wasn't sure what was left after that. Well, thankfully there was a lot left for the climax of the movie as it shifted its tone and character arc, but nonetheless, I did have that thought. The repetitive nature of some of the jokes was a bit too much. The thermos gags never ended. At all. Some were funny, some were great, like the vacuum bit, but there were a ton of them. And we get a lot of times where Hubie is on his bike strolling through the town and everyone has something to chuck at him. He is constantly dodging things, which is fine, just expect it to happen a lot. As too are the attempts to scare Hubie.
What are you going to do, Mr. Dubois?
What I do every October 31st. Make sure every citizen is protected.
Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Hubie Halloween. It's a welcome addition to the classic early Sandler films while bringing some new ideas to the table. The Halloween and Salem backdrop work very well, shining through the screen and feeling authentic. Any Halloween enthusiast will surely enjoy the scenery. The expansive cast all help to create a funny Halloween tale filled with jokes that land and a story that works. I give Hubie Halloween, on the Sandler scale, 4 out of 5 stars. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts on the film in the comments below.